I'm on YouTube. This is crazy. This feels like surreal. We're on YouTube. We're on YouTube. Here we are. Hi, YouTube. Hey. I am so excited. First of all, hi. My name is Julie Jules. It's nice to meet you. Okay. Back up. We're moving way too fast, way too quick. Okay. This is my YouTube channel. Hi. My name is Julie Jules. I'm a 2-time Emmy Award-winning makeup artist. Okay, I'm not even gonna cut this one. I really want to do this YouTube and just like, I really want to be myself on here and have fun. I've honestly been feeling like on Instagram and TikTok, I might have been a little curated, and I want to have a lot of fun over here. Okay, so back to it. I'm Julie Jules. I'm a 2-time Emmy Award-winning makeup artist. I've been giving my award-winning makeup tips and beauty tips on Instagram and TikTok for almost 2 years now, which is really exciting. And now I'm finally on YouTube, bringing you guys all of my gems, my career tips, my beauty tips, my life tips. We're just gonna have so much fun on here, and I really just want to flow. So today I'm going to just introduce myself, really just talk about myself, really just talk about myself for 30 minutes, let you guys get to know me, and I want to get to know you guys as well. So please comment, tell me where you're from, why you're here, how did you find me, what are you hoping to get out of this channel? Because I definitely don't want this to just be like a one-way conversation. Like we gotta be here. I want to create community on YouTube. Okay, so today we're just gonna do like my favorite look, my go-to makeup look. We're gonna chit chat, we're gonna talk. Let's get into it. I'm on YouTube. Seriously, if you're an overthinker like me, I've been overthinking this since I started making content. And so I'm really happy that I'm finally just sitting here and doing it. And I encourage anybody who has wanted to do content, anything that you're trying to do in your life, I'm really encouraging you to wake up tomorrow and just start doing it. No matter how big, how small the task is towards that goal, just do it, because you never know where life can take you, but it won't take you anywhere if you don't start, poo. Okay. First, I'm going to be pretty much using like my favorite products, and these are my favorite products like consumer wise, if that makes sense. I'm a professional makeup artist, but there are a lot of things I have here at home that I don't have in my kit, really just because I find that they're best used for like personal use, consumer use versus my kit. So but one day I'm sure we'll do a kit tour and all that good stuff. So I'm just starting off with some black eyeliner. I need to sharpen my pencil. And I know Uzo is going to yell at me for it looking like this, but this is my favorite pen. This is from Uzo Beauty, and I'm going to start off the look. Since I already know I want to wear black eyeliner, I'm going to start off the look by adding that black liner. Why I like to do this as my first step is because you see it's already in there now. I don't have any makeup on, so I can, really get in there. And especially for my clients, if have like really sensitive eyes or watery eyes, I want to do this step first to get that out the way. But let's get back to me, my favorite topic. My name is Julie Jules. I was about to say I'm 24 years old, child. Lord, I'm 34 years old, and I'm super proud of that because I'm so happy where I am in life. Now that doesn't mean I've done everything I wanted to do, but I'm so happy with the woman that I've turned out to be. So I'm 34, I live in Los Angeles, California. Like I've already told you, I'm a 2-time Emmy Award-winning makeup artist, and we'll get into all of that in a little bit, or maybe in another video, I don't know. We're gonna see how long I yap for. Okay, now we're gonna color correct, which everybody needs to color correct. Now the amount of color correcting you need to do depends, but my ADHD is kicking in. I told you my YouTube is going to be like all over the place. People are going to be like, you're so like coiffed and curated on TikTok and Instagram, and this is going to be like a show. I'm going in with my primer first. This is my Easy Blur by Huda Beauty. I'm usually not a primer girly, but when it works, baby. And this one, it works. Like she blurs, she helps with my smile lines. I look like a filter after I put this on. It's kind of crazy. Julie Jules, Los Angeles, California. I'm originally from New Jersey. Big ups to the East Coast. And I moved out to California when I was 17, not to do makeup, really just life happening. And again, I'll get into that another day because that's like a whole story. But I've always loved makeup. Makeup has always been a really safe place for me. My mother is actually the one who introduced me into makeup. Growing up, she was always like, you know, you have to put something on your face, Julie. Like, you cannot walk out there looking barefaced. That was always her thing. And like, even though we were young, it wasn't about putting on a lot of makeup. It was more about polishing yourself, if you know what I mean. Now we're going into color correct. Now, like I said, how much you need to use depends on how dark, but everybody needs a little bit of color correcting. This one is by NARS. This is their light reflecting color corrector. I like to add it in my smile lines too. And I'm just gonna go in with a tiny bit of the Huda Beauty color corrector, just because I feel like it has that nice grip on it. And this is the color Mango, although I do want to try Papaya, because this one, I feel like I could go just a little deeper. As you can see, the NARS is much deeper than the Mango. So I do want to try out her other one. Color correcting, it's great, especially like I said, if you have dark marks under your eyes, on your face, if you have acne scarring, this is going to cancel it out versus trying to go in with your concealer later and it might turn it gray. Weird, I know. So like back to it, I've always loved makeup. My mother always made sure we had something on our face. And it didn't have to be a lot. It could be a little bit of powder, it could be a little blush, it could be a little lip gloss on the lips. She was just very into making sure that we were like put together. And that's always stayed with me when I went to college. You know, my mom was actually supporting me through college, and she was like, girl, I cannot pay for your maintenance. Like me getting my hair done, all that, because I loved a good sew-in back in the day. And she was like, you either need to get a job or you need to figure out how to do this by yourself. And mama wasn't getting no job just yet. So I learned how to do my own hair, my own sew-ins. And this is like the year, let's see, this is like 2012. So everybody's really just like starting to come into like this YouTube thing and makeup more. And I've always loved makeup. And that's why this is so exciting, because I remember when I decided to be a makeup artist, and it was like 2014, 2015, and YouTube was like really popping with the creators, but at the time you couldn't do makeup and YouTube, you had to pick one. And I was like, I really want to be a makeup artist, so that's what I did. But I've always, since that moment, you know, since I've seen the evolution of everything, I'm like, man, I wish I would have gotten YouTube. And now here I am. So this is like, it's never too late, like honestly, because the moment is here right now. Like, what can I say? All right, and now that we're color corrected, we are going to jump to eyes, because I want this to kind of like settle, my primer, I want all of that to like settle into my skin. So I'm gonna move on to eyes now. I'm going in with my Too Faced Shadow Insurance. This is an eye primer to make sure that our eyeshadow does not move around anywhere, like nowhere. And I like doing this over concealer, especially as I've gotten older. I just want the least amount of texture on my eyes because they are so sensitive. And I find that using a concealer and then having to set it with a setting powder just leaves me, you know, it gives extra weight. As you can see, this added no extra weight to my eyes. It's just there, and it's gonna grab onto the color perfectly. So she's always loved makeup. She's always been into makeup. When I learned how to do my own hair, that was like another, you know, gave me another boost of confidence, because now I knew how to do something by myself. Whew. The girl can yap. I should have been yapping, because the way I could yap. Okay, first we're gonna go in and do my lighting. We are filming at like, what time is it? It's 5:33, so I'm sure this video is gonna go from day to night. Just work with me, okay? I'm gonna start off with my Man Eater. Is this Man Eater? Yeah, this is Man Eater by Tarte. I love this shade right here. I'm using my BK Beauty Nikki LaRose N13 brush. And I'm just gonna take this and sweep this all over my lid. Now for my clients, I love an intricate look. I love going in there with 5 different shades and blending my life away. But when I'm doing my own makeup, I like to get in and get out, and you guys will learn that from me. Yes, so the girl now knows how to do her hair. She's vibing. I'm already living in California. I'm in college at the time, going to community college, soon transferring to university. And so yeah, I'm learning how to do my own sew-ins. You know, life is sweet, life is good. And then boom, I graduate university, I move to LA, and I find out the art of really doing makeup. Like makeup artists, this is that 2016, 2015 era. So like, this is like the height of makeup. Like the girls are doing it. Now I'm just taking this brush, and as you can see, I'm taking this almost all the way up to my brow bone, really just flushing that color up. And it's so beautiful. I love this color so much. I like run for this shade all the time. Now, if you guys have not already used the Danessa Myricks Color Fix Sticks, amazing, 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 amazing. These are a play on her Color Fix, which is in that tube, but this is so much easier to use, so beginner friendly. You get 2 shades and a magnetic piece in the middle to hold it together, or you can just have them separately. I love that. One's a metallic, one's a foil. So like if you bring this out, you've got 2 looks in one, Pookie. I'm gonna use the foil side because I love that side. Growing up, I just always had that relationship with makeup. I've always seen it as a tool, as something to use to whether uplift yourself or, you know, bring yourself out of a bad day or just match to your outfit. And mind you, growing up, my mother still is a nurse. So it's not like she had to do her makeup to go to work, but she was just that girl. And I'm so happy now that I've gotten older that I realize, I'm just gonna go ahead and tap this out now that I've laid it down. Now that I've gotten older and like I've met a lot of women who of course don't know how to do their makeup. Maybe that's why they hire me or for other reasons. And I'm like, you know, did your mom teach you anything? And they're like, no, my mother never wore makeup. She never taught us anything because she never wore it herself. And I'm like, wow, you know, as hard as it is to even learn makeup, you know, I feel like I had a little bit of advantage because my mother taught me. So I was never like scared of using makeup, even if it meant that it didn't come out right the first time. I still wasn't afraid to use it. And I feel like having that freedom really allowed for me to, you know, become good at what I do now. And so I just find that really special. And that's honestly why when I found out what a makeup artist was, I wanted to become one, because the whole time I was doing makeup, mind you, I'm 34, so I'm doing makeup in the early 2000s. Not all of the shades are there, like to even find. And I feel like I would do all the right things and my makeup would still come out looking crazy. And it was because the colors weren't there yet. So when I figured out how to like do that, I knew I wanted to become a makeup artist, because I'm like, I want to teach other women, especially women of color, how to do their makeup. Because there really wasn't a guide then for women. And I felt like I could be better used as an artist than teaching at the time. But I'm so happy that like life has figured itself out for me and we're back here in this moment. Like, what? And even till this day, even with all the innovations that we have in products, I still find that like I have to use some of my tips and tricks and some of my little, you know, things I've learned over the years to make sure that as a woman of melanin, that my makeup comes out immaculate. So I'm also gonna take just a really small brush and I'm gonna take a little bit of the Color Fix stick, because it does kind of have like a really round front that makes it hard to get in this little corner right here. So I'm just gonna take a brush and do that on the innermost. Okay, so easy. That's really what I want to show you guys. Like, I like doing easy makeup because, you know, when you want to get out the door, when your girl called you for drinks, you know, 5 minutes ago, and you're like, okay, I want to get out the house, I want to look cute, you want to be able to do something like this. You know what I mean? Yes. Now I'm going to use my Ouzo Beauty liquid eyeliner. It's super black, and I'm going to do the thinnest line. I'm into really thin lines, and I hardly ever do a wing. I don't know if it's pure laziness or if I just don't like it, but I'm usually just doing a really thin line on my lash line and then I'm out of there. You can see how with even just a little bit of eyeliner, it's defined my lash line quite a bit. So also, why it's so interesting to start YouTube now is because I can really like talk about all the changes I've seen in makeup since then, which have been a lot. I mean, even down to like how many product releases we get every week. It's crazy. And like, it's good and bad, right? Like, I love the innovation of makeup and so many new formulas, so many new products. Of course, color ranges have expanded, which is beautiful. But then like the overconsumption of it too, right? Like, it's crazy. Now I'm speaking of overconsumption, I'm going in with 2 foundations. But this more is the artist in me. I'm forever going to be mixing my foundations. Here's the thing. There are many companies out there and everybody has their own formulation process. And so what might work for one company, another company might say, we hate that shade. And they're usually even the widest ranges of foundation, 45, 50 shades, is not going to be enough to shade match every single person in the world. Someone's going to be left out. And I don't say that to say that, you know, we should exclude anybody, but just to say that like even in between shades, sometimes, you know, there are some companies where I find my exact match, and then there's some companies that I don't, but I love the formula, so I'll mix and I don't mind. And it's just the artist in me, honestly. I was always taught to mix shades to find that perfect match. Like, yeah. So I'm going in with my Huda Beauty Easy Blur. When she says this, her whole line, honestly, just makes you look like a filter. I went out the other day and I was in the girls' bathroom and this girl was like, I don't know what you got on your face, but whatever it is. And honestly, it was all Huda Beauty products. And I love, and that's what I do love about the ingenuity of makeup these days. Like, now you have brands that are directly identified with their owner and you're getting that style of makeup through that brand. Where before we were kind of just getting products. Now it's like, you know, you have Makeup by Mario who gives you that soft model makeup. And you have Huda who's giving you like this baddie, you know, sweat-proof makeup. You have one size that's like full beat, let's go. Who's sweating? Not over here. Danessa Myricks is giving you that ethereal. Pat McGrath is giving you that supermodel. Like, I love how each brand has their own identity now. It's really refreshing. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of 550 and then a little bit of 500, and I'm just gonna mix that to my liking. Also note that I like to make sure either one of 2 things. Either my foundation is darker, or if my foundation is gonna be the same shade as me, then I'm of course gonna bronze a ton. But I normally like to have my foundation be just not darker, but just like spot on. Like, it should be matching my hand. And you can see now my hand is not cream color. We want to get this to all look the same. So going in with that Huda Beauty Easy Blur, I'm using my BK Beauty 101 brush. And I'm just patting that in. I'm staying away from under my eyes because I've already put color corrector there, and I'm gonna go in with concealer and powder. So I really want to make sure I'm not adding too much product. I am so excited about our YouTube journey. I'm really interested in what you guys want to see from me. I feel like, of course, YouTube's been around for forever now. So it's like, are there still things that you guys don't know? What do you want to see from me? I remember when I was looking on YouTube back in the day, I really wanted to find professional makeup artists, which was really hard at the time. There were a lot of influencers on YouTube making content, but like how to set up my kit, how to, you know, show up to a job, all those kind of things. And then just like career advice. So if that's something you guys are into, for sure, let me know. And now we can see, yes, hand and face are matching. I'm into keeping brown girls brown, if you know what I mean. Drink some water. Woo! Okay, now it's time for blush. This is our Juvia's Place blush. This is this is Coral Rose. And if you know anything about the Juvia's Place blushes, a little bit goes a long way, even on deep skin. And don't hate me, none of my brushes are clean, and I swear by a clean brush, but it's just been one of those weeks your girl keeps it real. That might be the next video, how to wash your brushes, because I'm so into clean brushes, it's not even funny. Because that's how you get the best makeup. We all know that, right? Yeah. So I'm going in with my Makeup by Mario. This is my F4 brush. I just love the shape of it for doing blush. And I'm keeping that concentrated, keeping that pretty high up and back. I'll bring it a little bit forward. And oh, just look at that. I love a coral peach tone, especially on deep skin. Pink is always, you know, beautiful, but sometimes it just comes across a little bit harsh. And so I love a peach tone. I'm actually gonna do just a little bit more on this side. Now, okay, back to products. I'm loving the ingenuity, but also like everybody does not need everything. And I really want to make that very apparent on my page. When I'm speaking on a product, I want to be able to educate you guys. Who is it best for? You know, because not everything is for everybody. And I feel like makeup has just gotten out of hand at this point where it's like, everybody feels like they need the latest drop. And it's like, no, that's for oily girls or that's for dry girls. So like, you don't need that one. But I feel like everybody just wants to have everything. And like my page is not going to be about a whole bunch of new products. I use a lot of the same stuff. I give away a lot of my PR, especially if it doesn't work for me. I do not hold on to things that don't work for the girl. Clock it. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of education on here. A lot of tips, a lot of tricks, a lot of fun. We're gonna yap, we're gonna have a good time. I'm going in with some concealer. This is by Huda Beauty as well. And this is the shade 7.1. I really like this formula. If you have dry under eyes, really make sure to go in and prep really well before you use this concealer because it is a soft matte. It's a soft matte, it dries down. She's not playing. This is not a concealer to be played with, but I really do love how my face came out when I did this look a couple weeks ago. So I'm back. One with my Huda Beauty under eye brush. I just used it last week and it was very, very nice. What better brush to use? Okay, so we said don't buy everything you see already. But if it speaks to you and you love it, because I also am a makeup junkie. I'm a former reformed makeup junkie, so I understand as well. My mom is always trying to buy the newest stuff, so I feel you. But just make sure it works for you. Also, one of the best tips I could give as a professional makeup artist is going to be learning your face. And that's just going to come from trial and error. You know, there's a lot more information out there now as far as like, if you have a long face, this is what you should do. If you have a short face, this is what you should do. If you have high cheekbones, blush placement, I would say invest in learning that more than what products to get. Because really, for the most part, a lot of the things are the same. I mean, like concealer is concealer. There's a difference in formulations, of course, like how matte is it? But you really just want to get down packed first, your face shape, where things should go, and then you can start playing with different formulas and, you know, what looks best, all that kind of stuff. Because I feel like that's, for me, when my makeup changed for my clients. Like when I really started learning the art of beauty and the science of makeup, as far as like, why am I doing things? Why am I placing this blush here? Why am I placing that concealer there? What's its purpose? Not just because it's supposed to go under the eye, but like actually knowing why you're doing something. That's when your makeup is really gonna start to shine. So that would be like my first tip for sure. And then after that, brushes. People don't realize how much brushes play a part in your makeup. It can really take it to the next level, or not at all. No levels accomplished. And skincare. Oof, baby. Let's talk skincare, because what is makeup with no skincare? Nothing. Nothing but a dry, patchy, cracked, cakey face. So I want to make sure if there's nothing you leave here with, it's a good, I'm going back in with my blush brush just lightly, a good skin prep, learn your face, like those two, and good brushes. And good brushes. And maybe like good brushes could be the third one, because you can start out with, you know, good placement and good placement and good skin prep, and then like you can move into like a solid brush collection. But look at the face, honey. Yes, yes. And I always love to go back in, like you just saw me go back in with my blush brush. I love to go back in with like my foundation brush, just tap around the areas, because you always want everything to blend seamlessly. Gorgeous. Now we're gonna set a bit. Here is Cinnamon Bun by Huda Beauty as well. It's about to be a Huda Beauty face. I'm surprised I didn't do the eyeshadow Huda Beauty, but I'm going in with Cinnamon. Now I love using a face colored powder, especially on deeper skin, to get that really beautiful set. Now you can always make this brighter with some powders, but I just find on deep skin, I've just been loving using a skin tone powder. And I was raised in the school of like, you know, going with a translucent or a banana, but this has just really changed my makeup game. I'm looking for my brush again. Okay. Before we set, I always love to go in and just lightly tap to make sure that we get any creasing out. And I like to do this one eye at a time to really make sure I'm set. And now when you're using a face colored powder, I always like to use like just a tinge brighter of a concealer. Not super bright, but just bright enough where when the powder lays down, it's not too flat, which, look at this under eye. I have become a very big fan of the Huda Beauty powders because it's just that perfect amount of set. Look at that. The girl knows what she's doing. Oh. Again, and always rub the powder in the back of your hand or the, you know, front, whatever you call it, before you set. That's gonna make sure that you have an even amount of powder on the puff and that you don't have too much and look too cakey. So I'm gonna look up. I always tell my mom, like, you do not need to see. She's like, I can't do my makeup anymore, I can't see. And I'm like, girl, you don't need to see. Look at Stevie Wonder making it happen without seeing. Like, no excuses over here, okay? I'm gonna do my whole T-zone area. So, like I said, I'm so excited to now be on YouTube. And now that I've like finally bit the bullet, I feel like I'm gonna be on here every day just talking. I was really nervous because it's, you know, it's like a whole new world out there when it comes to makeup and putting yourself out there. And of course I want to be like well received and all those things and show my best self. And I think I just get in my head a lot as an entrepreneur, as somebody who is very driven and has a lot of goals. I definitely get in my head a lot about what I'm trying to do. And, you know, I think if I don't start something, then I can't fail at it, right? And I think that's what's kind of been holding me back from YouTube. And I'm so excited to, like, I did it. Now I can, it's done. Yes. Back in with my blush brush without any extra product. It's all about building up that color. And this is really what I do for my clients. Like, I don't do my makeup like I do my clients' makeup because I'm like much more quicker, like boom, 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 get out of here. But these are some of the steps that I do on my clients. It's all about layering the product. It's all about, you know, small steps. My client Taylor the other day, she's like, I know I don't be doing my makeup right because you be doing all this tap, tap, tap motions and little dustings. And I'm like, yeah, girl, it's all about them little steps. Now we're going in to do some brows. I'm using my Tarte Maracuja Juicy Brow. And I love to start by combing up my brushing up my hairs and kind of getting them into the shape that I want the brows to be in. It has the spoolie. It also has this pomade part. So now I'm going to go in and start with outlining my brows, so where they start and stop. Brows are the frame of the face. Like once you get these down packed, your makeup can thrive. And honestly, when I was learning how to do makeup, after I realized how important the brows were, I started doing those first on my clients because it would help me to see their face shape, and it would help me to see like how I want their eyeshadow to go, how high do I want that transition color to go. So that was that's how powerful brows are when it comes to your face. Like if you've been struggling with what eyeshadow looks look best on you, or how far you should go with your blush or your concealer, I would start with your brows, and it can really start to change how you do your makeup. Julie side again, now that I've finished that up. And also, like another reason why I didn't start my YouTube sooner, it was because people were always saying like, oh, if you're a YouTube artist, you can only do your makeup. And so I was like, well, I don't want to only know how to do my makeup. I want to be a makeup artist. So like I need to know how to do everyone's makeup. And I think just the stigma around it, which it's so crazy now, how like things have changed, and that's life, right? Things are always changing, and that's why you just need to stay true to yourself and do what you feel in your heart. And I wish I had more of that, which I think I had a good amount in my 20s, but man, if I had as much as I had now, we would have been over here, baby. But who knows why this journey is starting now. And if there's one thing I've learned, is to embrace what's happening in the present moment. And in the present moment, we here together. Oh, I'm so sentimental. Oh, I'm a Taurus, by the way. Born in May. I'm a May Taurus. There is a big difference. Huge. Okay, now that the brows are a little bit done, I'm not fully done with the brows. I'm still gonna go in with brow gel, and then I'll go in with the felt tip part later. And now I'm going in with some powder blush, and I'm gonna use my BK Beauty Nikki LaRose N15. It's just so soft and fluffy. And a reason why I like to do my foundation a little bit darker is because now I don't even have to bronze. Like now the more I highlight, the better, the more, you know, crisp I look on the outside. So it just takes a step away from me. And whew, y'all gonna be like, this girl is all over the place. I do want to brighten just a tad bit. So I'm gonna go in. Now I'm not into baking all the time, but I do wanna step this look up just a bit. So I'm going in with a little bit of banana bread from Huda Beauty, and I'm not gonna tap that off. I'm just gonna place this under my eyes where I want just a little bit of brightness. I'm also gonna go ahead, her powders are so good for carving. Like if you wanna carve out your nose, because it just does not add a lot of extra product, which I love. Because a lot of the times when you bake, it adds an extra layer, and that's not what we want. And also, if you're an oily girl, her products are like, I can feel the oil being sucked out of my face. And I have a remedy for that as well for my dry girlies, so just stay tuned. I got all the tips and the tricks. Going in with my Tarte. Ooh. This is one of my favorite colors. This is Tarte Enchanted. It's a super pretty peach. Oh, and like I was saying, I don't have to bronze now because I've done my foundation, such this warm color. So that takes that step away. So I'm just going in. I love how fluffy this brush is. I like to take a little bit on the top of my forehead, not for it to really show, but just so that things balance out. And then sometimes I'll also take a little bit and put it into my eyeshadow just so that everything comes together. Love it. I really wanted to be on YouTube, but it was just like so faux pas back in the day, and you really have to just follow your heart in life. And luckily my path was still found, and I was still able to make all of my dreams come true, including getting on YouTube eventually. So, you know, but if I could talk to my younger self, I'd be like, girl, go ahead and do it. I'm going back into that brown. And it's interesting because even when I wanted to become a makeup artist and I was living here in LA, a lot of people told me like, oh, are you sure you want to do makeup? Like, there's so many makeup artists in LA. And I had to fight through that at that time. So I guess I must have felt like, you know, this one is, you know, really worth fighting for, because at that point I had settled on being a makeup artist, and I knew it would take me time. I knew it wasn't going to be easy, but I couldn't afford for anybody to be telling me that it wasn't going to work. I'm like, you know what? They ain't me. How about that? Maybe there are a lot of makeup artists out there. Maybe there are, you know, everybody's used up and nobody needs a makeup artist, but I'm different. And somebody's going to meet me, and somebody's going to feel like I want her on my team. And those were just the feelings that I went with, and that's how I got here. Which is, you know, amazing. Okay, the Tarte Brows for Days is so good. So good. It's not too heavy of a formula, but it's also not too thin where it doesn't actually keep your brows in place. Like, it actually does what it says it's gonna do, which I like. And I like to set my brows after I'm done with most of my makeup, so this is the perfect formula for me. And this is now the time to really get that shape in, really solidify that. So here's to following your heart. I'm going in now with a fluffy brush, and you can see, oh, before I do that, I don't know if it's because I'm nervous. I'm so nervous to be here. I'm going in with my Black Radiance Beauty Contour Palette, a small brush, and I'm just going to lightly carve around, bring it up into the brows. And I don't always do this, but when I do, I do. This is probably like my in-between glam and like my everyday. I can run to this kind of look. There's some steps in here that I could, you know, take out or keep. So what does this page, what I hope to get out of being here with you guys? Because let's be honest, nobody's doing nothing for nothing, okay? And I really want to change my life. You know, I've changed it once before, and like I said, things are always evolving, and you know, now it's called for a change in my life, in my profession, and I'm so glad that I was able to come to this space and be able to have this opportunity to share what I love to do as a way of working. And I want to be honest, that's what I want to do. I want to be able to wake up every day and be here with you guys and teach you and connect with brands so that I can teach more, because one dream has not ended, but it's definitely shifted, and I want to hope that I can make another dream come true. Okay, enough sentimentalness. Do some lashes. I've been obsessed with my Too Faced Ribbon mascara. This is a tubing mascara, and I'm gonna do one eye at a time to really show you, between the brush and the formula, this just makes my lashes look so good. Whenever I wear this one, people ask me if I have falsies on. I'm like, thank you. Now we're gonna do some lips, and I had my Too Faced Lip Hangover Balm in the shade Cranberry Crush. I love that shade. I think I'm just gonna do a really pretty brown lip. Go figure. Oh yeah, I said this was gonna be my everyday look, so I ain't gotta do too much. This is my Maybelline lip lifter liner. This is the shade Cross the Line. And these are so smooth, like extremely smooth. Now I'm gonna go in with the shade Playa. I'm gonna use this all over my lips. Going back in with Cross the Line. I've already envisioned some things about how I see my future going, but if I've learned anything, you never know where the universe is going to take you. And I'm excited, and now I'm excited to be able to document it and maybe come back in 5 years and be like, remember that day when you didn't know what you was gonna do and you was on YouTube? And I can look back and be like, wow. Oh, and let me not forget, okay, winning 2 Emmys. Yes, so it's a crazy story, but I have won 2 Emmys for doing makeup. I won them working with Garcelle Beauvais. You may know her from the Jamie Foxx show, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but she did 2 seasons of The Real, and I was her makeup artist, and we won 2 daytime Emmys, which was life-changing, oh my gosh, crazy. But we will get into that story another day. Now I'm going in with my Pixie Milky Mist, and I like using this not as a setting spray, but just as it's intended. It's a serum. It's a featherweight mist-on moisturizer. It helps soothe skin and provide a surge of hydration. So this is imagine if you could go and moisturize your face after you did your makeup. That's what this is in a spray. And at 34, I want to look like a little baby. Not little baby, but a baby, a little baby. And this does that for me. I'm gonna let this dry down a little bit. I have 2 more steps. We have gloss. We're going to finish up our brows. And that's another thing. That also really changed my makeup game. Learning how to go back in and do the little steps, game changer. Now I'm going in with the felt tip side of our brow pen, and I'm mostly gonna concentrate on the front because that's where the light hits sometimes, and because there may not actually be hairs there, you'll get that glaring kind of look. So I really wanna make sure I focus there. But yeah, also when I learned to go back in on my makeup and fine tune things, game changer. I'm also gonna do my mole. I have a natural mole there, but I do have a little pimple trying to come out here. So I'm also gonna make her a mole, because who do you think you are? Nobody in my world. Cha-cha-cha. Oh, my favorite step that I love. I love going in with a blush highlighter. And this is what I'm talking about, ingenuity of products. We didn't have blush highlighters when I started doing makeup, but having a product that not only adds color, but shimmer, and it's cream, so it doesn't add that chunky sparkle. Yes, thank you. And I like to just tap this right in between my bronzer and blush. And when I'm feeling really like that girl, I'll bring it right on the front of my face for that really cheeky. Look at that. It just adds the nicest amount of sheen, color, and it really makes it look like you know what you're doing with your makeup. A step I can't skip, maybe it's the makeup artist in me, but a finishing powder. Now this is not necessarily a finishing powder. This one is by Huda Beauty as well. It's her Bacon Snatch, but I don't use it the way she does. I just take it with a light fluffy brush and I kind of go over everything. And this is just to melt everything together. So it just looks very seamless. A little bit of gloss, and to match this whole look, I'm going in with my Fenty. This is her Fenty Glow Fantasy. I have it in the mini, and it just has extra sparkles compared to the original formula, which I love. Look at that. Matches my eyes. Yes. I think we're done. See, I knew it was gonna be like that. I knew I was gonna get on here and be having so much fun that I wouldn't even want to leave. I knew I was gonna get on here and be having so much fun I wouldn't even want to leave. See? And I was scared for what? Scared to come on YouTube for what? It's not that scary. Here is like my everyday, maybe not every day, but this is like my go-to when I want to like feel like that girl. I'm probably doing something around this realm. We finished my first YouTube video. Like you guys don't know. I've really been beating myself up about this and getting this started, and now it's done. I'm done. I did it. I'm a YouTube girly. I got a video on YouTube, which I do have another video on here, which actually I'm gonna leave it up because it showcases me when I was first starting out in my makeup career. So you might want to go watch it and check it out. Very vulnerable me, very young me. But now I officially have my first makeup video on Instagram, on YouTube. Woo, YouTube girly. Okay, I will see you guys on my next video. I hope you enjoyed this so much. Be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Okay, bye.